You know, the Earth is packed with places so bizarre they feel straight up extraterrestrial. Shimmering pink lakes, stone forests, mirror flat horizons. Scenes that bend your sense of what normal landscapes look like. So for today's video, we're counting down 15 places on Earth that look alien. Let's dive in. Number 15. The Rick-Hat structure, Eye of the Sahara, Mauritania. From the air, the Sahara suddenly blinks. The Rick-Hat structure, a perfect bullseye 40 kilometers, 25 miles, wide etched into the desert. Pilots use it as a navigation mark for decades. Astronauts still photograph its concentric rings from orbit. At ground level, though, the illusion fades. Sand, ridges, and stony hills hide the pattern your eyes crave. Despite the impact crater look, the Rick-Hat isn't from a meteor. It's an eroded geologic dome. Ancient layers pushed upward long ago, with tougher rocks forming high rings and softer layers worn into valleys. Think of it like an onion peeled by wind and time. This plateau sits in one of the most remote parts of Mauritania. Reaching it means hours on rough tracks with little shade and even less water. Most visitors only ever see pieces of it at a time. The full eye only reveals itself from far above. Scientists love it because those exposed rings are like pages in a stone history book. Marine sediments, volcanic hints, and long-lost environments stacked in sequence. It may not glow neon, but its sheer scale and symmetry make it one of Earth's most convincingly alien signatures. Number 14. Lençóis Maranhenses National Park, Brazil. Imagine a desert of pure white dunes, and between them, thousands of turquoise and jade lagoons. That's Lençóis Maranhenses, a 1,500 square kilometers, 575 square miles, expanse on Brazil's north coast that looks like waves of sugar sprinkled with gemstones. Here's the twist. It isn't technically a desert. From January to June, heavy rains pour into the dune valleys, but hard-pan layer beneath the sand blocks drainage. Water pools into wind-sculpted basins up to 3 meters, 10 feet, deep, turning dune fields into a mosaic of swimming holes. By late dry season, many lagoons evaporate, but the ecosystem doesn't just hit pause. Fish like wolffish survive by burrowing into mud or retreating to deeper waters, while migratory birds time their journeys to the wettest months. There are no paved roads in the park. Access is by 4x4 and on foot, with strict rules protecting fragile dune faces and lagoon edges. Stand on a ridge at sunset, white sand glowing pink, water burning cobalt, and it truly feels like a beach on another world. Number 13. Wulingyuan Scenic Area, China. In Hunan's misty mountains, 3,000 quartz sandstone pillars stab into the sky, some taller than 200 meters, 660 feet. At Wulingyuan, cliffs crumble into slender spires crowned with miniature pine forests, a stone jungle that looks ripped from sci-fi concept art. Those towers formed as water, frost, and wind gnawed at joints in ancient sandstone. Harder blocks endured as the softer matrix vanished, leaving freestanding columns like skyscrapers stranded above deep ravines. The atmosphere is half the magic. Fog drifting between needles, monkeys chattering in the canopy, waterfalls dropping into shadow. One pillar, the Southern Sky Column, famously inspired the floating Hallelujah Mountains in Avatar. Boardwalks, cable cars, and a glass bridge give bird's-eye views while controlling foot traffic. With strict conservation rules, the stone forest still feels primeval, an alien city carved by weather, topped with bonsai crowns. Number 12. Pamukkale Cotton Castle, Turkey. From a distance, Pamukkale gleams like a mountainside of ice. Up close, it's warm. Terraced pools of milky blue water spilling over white travertine steps formed by mineral-rich hot springs. For millennia, spring water saturated with calcium carbonate has cooled and degassed along the slope, depositing snow-white limestone into scalloped rims and shallow basins. The result looks like frozen waterfalls and giant shells stacked to the horizon. Ancient Hierapolis sits right above the terraces, Roman ruins, a theater, and old baths that made this a spa town 2,000 years ago. Today, Pamukkale is both geologic wonder and archaeological park. To protect the formations, hotels were removed and barefoot-only routes keep the travertine intact. Slip into a permitted pool at golden hour. The terraces glow, the water steams, and it honestly feels like bathing on a different planet. Number 11. Fly Geyser, Nevada, USA. Glowing reds, greens, and golds ooze over a steaming cone in the Black Rock Desert. Fly Geyser looks bioengineered, but it's a happy accident between people and geology. In 1964, a well-tapped, hot, mineral-rich water that wasn't useful for energy and was left uncapped. Over decades, silica and calcium carbonate built a cone, while thermophilic algae painted it in vivid stripes, and the geyser's vents kept on hissing. It's small, about 1.5 meters, 5 feet tall, but constantly active, feeding terrace pools that spread in abstract patterns across the flats. From a drone, the geometry and colors cranked the alien meter to max. Now owned by the Burning Man Project, the site is protected. Limited guided visits keep fragile mineral rims from crumbling underfoot. In a landscape of silence and sky, the geyser's living color feels like a pulsating organism from some other world. Number 10. Deadvlei, Namibia. In the heart of Namibia's Namibia National Park lies a white clay pan, so still feels frozen in time. Deadvlei, meaning dead marsh, sits surrounded by some of the tallest dunes on Earth, red-orange giants over 300 meters high. Against them, the valley's floor glows pale, cracked, and ghostly. Centuries ago, a river once flowed through this basin, nourishing camel thorn trees and turning it into a brief oasis. But shifting sands eventually blocked the water's path, isolating the valley and sealing its fate. The trees died, yet in the dry, scorching air, they never decayed. 600 years later, their blackened skeletons still stand like petrified witnesses in a white sea of clay. Sunrise paints Deadvlei in surreal colors. The dunes blaze red, the pan glows white, and the ancient trees cast perfect shadows. It's so visually alien that photographers often compare it to a stage set, a place where Mars might meet Earth. But it's not lifeless. Oryx and ostriches roam the edges, and tiny insects dig into the sand for moisture. The silence here is absolute, only the crunch of salt-crusted clay under your feet. Step into Deadvlei, and you're walking through a memory, a landscape that died, yet never disappeared. Number 9. Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, USA. Spread across the Arizona-Utah border, the Vermilion Cliffs are a swirl of color frozen in stone, reds, oranges, creams, and purples layered in impossible ribbons. From above, they look painted by hand. This 300,000-acre monument is an open-air gallery of erosion. Wind and rain have carved ancient sand dunes into contorted waves and striped domes. The most famous is the wave, a smooth, folding ribbon of Navajo sandstone so fragile that only 64 visitors are allowed in each day by lottery. The rock gets its hues from minerals baked in over millions of years. Iron for red, manganese for purple, limonite for yellow. When the desert sun moves, the colors shift, and the cliffs seem to breathe. Out here, there's no pavement, no crowds, only endless rock, solitude, and silence. Standing inside the wave, you could be anywhere, Mars, Jupiter, or an artist's dreamscape, but it's all Earth, layered, weathered, and alive with color. Number 8. Rotorua, New Zealand. On New Zealand's North Island, the Earth itself seems alive. Steam rises from sidewalks, sulfur scents the air, and pools shimmer in unnatural colors. Welcome to Rotorua, one of the world's most active geothermal regions. Here, underground magma heats water close to the surface, creating geysers, hot springs, and bubbling mud pools. In the Waiotapu thermal wonderland, minerals paint entire lakes in neon hues. The champagne pool glows orange and green. The artist's palette swirls with shifting colors. The Maori people have lived with these forces for centuries, using geothermal vents for cooking, bathing, and medicine. The region's largest geyser, Pohatu, erupts up to 30 meters high, sending steam into the sky like a breathing dragon. Rotorua is strange, smelly, and stunning, a living reminder that our planet is still cooking beneath our feet. Walk its misty paths and you'll feel the pulse of Earth itself, bubbling, glowing, and utterly alien. Number 7. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. Stretching across 10,000 square kilometers, Salar de Uyuni is the world's largest salt flat, a place so flat and bright it warps your sense of space. In the rainy season, it becomes the largest natural mirror on Earth. This alien plain formed when ancient lakes evaporated, leaving behind a crust of pure salt. During the day, it dazzles like polished marble. After rain, a thin film of water turns the horizon into infinity. Walk across and sky and ground become one. Clouds beneath your feet, stars at your fingertips. Beneath the crust lies one of the planet's richest lithium reserves, the same element that powers smartphones and electric cars. But above ground, it's a photographer's paradise. Cacti-covered islands rise like ships from a silver ocean, and reflections stretch endlessly in every direction. At sunset, the salt glows pink and gold. At night, the Milky Way spills across the flats like another reflection. Salar de Uyuni is not just a landscape. It's an illusion so perfect it erases where the world ends and the heavens begin. Number 6. Zhangye Danxia Landform, China. If you ever wanted to walk across a rainbow, Zhangye Danxia National Geopark is the place. Hills and cliffs ripple in streaks of red, orange, yellow, and green, a technicolor mountain range painted by minerals and time. Over 20 million years, iron oxide, copper sulfate, and sandstone settled into layers that wind and rain later sculpted into rolling waves. After rainfall, the colors grow almost unreal, as if someone turned up the saturation on the earth itself. Wooden walkways guide visitors across the ridges without damaging the fragile terrain. From each platform, the mountains seem to change shape with the light. Soft at dawn, electric at sunset. It's no wonder locals call it China's Rainbow Mountains. Underneath the spectacle lies pure geology, ancient sediment uplifted, cracked, and polished by time. But seen through human eyes, it's hard to believe nature painted it all by accident. Number 5. Cappadocia, Turkey. In the heart of central Turkey lies Cappadocia, a region so dreamlike, it feels carved from another planet. Here, thousands of soft stone spires, called fairy chimneys, rise from the desert floor, shaped by wind, ash, and time. From the air, especially at sunrise when hot air balloons drip between them, the view feels unreal. Millions of years ago, violent volcanic eruptions blanketed this land in thick layers of ash. Over time, that ash hardened into a soft rock called tuff, later capped by harder basalt. Wind and rain sculpted the landscape into bizarre towers and cones. But what makes Cappadocia special is how humans made it their home, carving entire cities inside these formations. Underground complexes like Derinkuyu extend 18 stories below the surface, once sheltering thousands of people from invasions. Churches, kitchens, wineries, even ventilation shafts still survive, cut directly into the rock. Above ground, cliffside monasteries display frescoes from the Byzantine era, painted centuries ago, but still vividly preserved. Today, Cappadocia is both an ancient wonder and a living one, its fairy chimneys lit by dawn, its caves echoing with history. To walk here is to move through a place where nature and civilization blur together, shaping a world that feels both earthly and alien. Number 4. Mount Roraima, Venezuela/Brazil/Guyana. Straddling 3 countries in South America, Mount Roraima looks like something from science fiction, a massive tabletop mountain surrounded by clouds. Its flat summit rises nearly 9,200 feet above sea level, its cliffs dropping vertically more than 1,000 feet to the rainforest below. Roraima is one of the oldest geological formations on Earth, formed nearly 2 billion years ago. Its isolated plateau harbors species found nowhere else. Carnivorous plants, rare orchids, and tiny frogs that evolved in total isolation. When mist rolls across the plateau, the entire summit looks like an island adrift in the sky. For the local Pemon people, Roraima is sacred. In their mythology, it's the stump of a great cosmic tree that once held all the world's fruits and life. When the tree was cut down, its fall created the mountains and rivers of the region. That mythology feels easy to believe when you see Roraima's towering presence, ancient, silent, and otherworldly. Climbing it is an adventure of endurance, days through jungle, fog, and waterfalls. But those who reach the summit find a landscape of stone labyrinths, black lagoons, and alien flora. It's no wonder this mountain inspired Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. On Roraima's plateau, Earth feels ancient, untouched, and not entirely human. Number 3. The White Desert, Egypt. In western Egypt, Sahara lies a landscape of blinding white, the White Desert or Sahara El Beida. Here, wind has sculpted chalk and limestone into surreal shapes that rise like ghosts from golden sand. Millions of years ago, this desert was a seabed. The remains of marine life, shells, coral, and plankton, compacted into thick chalk deposits. As the sea receded, wind took over, carving the soft rock into strange sculptures, mushrooms, towers, animals, even faces. At sunrise and sunset, the desert glows pink and silver, the light bouncing off its pale surfaces like snow under firelight. Camping here feels like staying on another planet, under a canopy of stars, surrounded by silent white monoliths. Time seems to vanish. The wind whispers through formations that look both fragile and eternal. It's easy to see why ancient travelers thought spirits lived among them. Protected today as a national park, the White Desert remains one of Egypt's great natural wonders. Few landscapes on Earth can look so alive, even in total stillness, a frozen ocean stone that glows under the desert moon. Number 2. Mount Erebus, Antarctica. At the edge of the frozen world, Mount Erebus burns. Rising 12,400 feet above Ross Island in Antarctica, it's the southernmost active volcano on Earth, and one of the strangest, amid glaciers and endless ice. Its summit contains a lava lake that has boiled continuously for decades. Erebus is a window into the planet's fiery heart. Its lava bubbles through vents in the snow, sending plumes of steam into sub-zero air. Around its rim, the heat creates glass formations known as Pele's hair, strands of volcanic glass that glisten in the wind like frozen smoke. It's also a place of scientific mystery. Researchers study its constant activity to understand how magma behaves beneath extreme cold, a setting that mirrors conditions on other planets like Mars or icy moons such as Io. Erebus even produces its own weather, heat-driven updrafts that spawn miniature snowstorms around the crater. From a distance, the volcano looks impossible, a mountain of fire standing in a continent of ice. It's Earth's own contradiction, a reminder that even in the coldest places, the planet's heart still beats. Number 1. Lake Hillier, Australia. On Middle Island off western Australia's coast lies Lake Hillier, a body of water, so pink it seems artificial. From above, it's a bubblegum oval ringed by white sand and deep blue ocean. But this color is an illusion, it's life. The pink hue comes from microalgae called Dunaliella salina, which produce pigments to survive extreme salinity. The lake is so salty that almost nothing else can live in it. Despite that, its color never fades. Whether in sunlight or shadow, summer or winter, the pink remains vibrant and constant. Discovered in the early 1800s, Lake Hillier still puzzles scientists. Unlike other pink lakes that change hues, its color persists year-round, unaffected by rain or temperature. From the air, it looks almost luminous, like a painted wound in the wilderness. Access is restricted to protect the ecosystem, but those lucky enough to see it from above describe it as hypnotic, an alien splash of color in a land already filled with extremes. In a world of blue seas and brown earth, Lake Hillier stands alone, proof that nature sometimes defies even its own rules. From boiling volcanoes under ice to deserts that glow white as bone, these places prove one thing. Earth doesn't need to leave orbit to look alien. It already holds worlds within itself. Each one is a reminder that the planet we call home still has corners strange enough to make us feel like explorers on another world.